That one. There we go. Hi.
Is that Jesus behind you?
Wait. No, it's Superman.
Oh, it's Superman. I could only see bottom of legs and it just looked like Jesus or something like that on a...
It's Superman having his haircut, look.
Then again, I've never seen Jesus with red boots on before.
Wait there. He's having his haircut.
No.
Oh, so he is. Welcome to the last of the summer UK Vape Shows, episode 351. Yes. Yes, we have got our special 2-week guest. So for the people that have just joined after the break we've had, we're going to be having guests in for the 4th slot, and those guests, if they're in the UK and they want to, they're in for 2 weeks. So it's a 2-week rotation thing. Obviously, if it's people that can't make the 2 weeks, they're only in for 1 week, that kind of thing. Who are we going to pick on first? We'll pick on someone who looks like a potato. How you doing, Aidan?
Yes, I do look like a bit of a potato. The story behind that goes, I hope you all watched the Saturday show. Them lads did absolutely fantastic for a fantastic cause. Again, we'll put the link in a little bit later on. The Just Giving page for Louise is still up there. If you don't know anything about it, the late vape show, that was mine, the late vape show. Unfortunately, Mick's daughter has been diagnosed with cancer, and what we're trying to do is they're trying to get the dream so that she can make lots of dreams with the family. A lot of people have done a lot to help. I think they're up to about £22,000.
Yeah,
wow,
which is absolutely amazing. And a big shout out to the lads on Saturday. I was at work and then I watched the show, and Brent, when he shaved his beard off, just totally looks totally different, didn't he? And then Legion Vapes did it. He looked like Grim Green in disguise, didn't he?
And Steve, do you know what? I watched the replay, and Steve, bless him, looks just... You know when people have got such powerful beards and they lose them? Oh, I felt so sorry because they look so naked. You're like...
So anyway, I've been watching the show all night, and while we were at work, and then when I got back, and I had a couple more beers, you know what I'm like, and I thought I'll join in this. So they sent me a link over. I went in and spoke to him, and then I think they did the last auction bit, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to stick up for these lads. I'm going to see if I can raise a bit more money and shave my hair. So I sort of like took off the link because they were doing the showy bit, and I went upstairs, found my shavers, come downstairs. And then I was off the show and they were saying goodnight. So I couldn't really do it. So I went back upstairs and went, well, I can't do it. So Louise went to me, well, I'll tell you what, I'll donate some more money and I'll shave it off. So that's what she did. She shaved my hair off and she donated some more money. So I thought, well, I'll get you all back. We'll give kids a bit. I got in bath and I shaved my beard off.
Yeah.
And that's the big one, that. You know, when it's like when Vic were doing his, right? The hair comes off. It's fine. You can live with that.
Oh, yeah.
When this bit starts to come off,
Yeah, no.
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 Like I said to Vic, it'll be back by Sunday. You'll be surprised. By the time of next week's show, it'll all be back as normal. I'm just trying to find the link now. I think we should have the link still in the UK Vape show, if I can just find it. Copy link, I think it's here. There we go, and we'll just stick it in there. Paste. No, that's not the link. That's not. I will find it when it's not my turn. What am I vaping on? But again, well done, lads. Absolutely brilliant. Nearly enough £7,500 the raise, which are absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
We are on the Oxford 1.0. I use this quite often. It's really, really good. In there, I've got some chubby salts, which is the blue raz lemonade. I've then got the from Samoan. I'm just about to burp. It's horrible, you know. When you
get it out. Just let it go.
Go for it.
Well, you try and do you know how to hold it back? It's a pre-code from Samoan. I really love that device. In there, I have got, and this is an award-winning juice by Shoutout. This is the key lime pie cheesecake. It is absolutely gorgeous. I went a bit retro. I thought I'd do that. This is from EH Pro and Ambition Vapor.
That's been back a bit.
It is the Cold Steel 100. Still works. On top of there, I've got, I think, is it the Geek Vape Z? I think it is.
Looks like a Z tank.
Yeah, it's a Z tank, but I'm actually using the Advocating coils. They fit it as well. And I think they're a little bit better. They don't leak. In there, I've got some Ultimate Slurpee Chubby Juice from EV. And last but not least, again, I've been using this all the time. This is the Deluxe Pro from Vaporesso with a nice little bit of cherry and watermelon. That stuff is absolutely gorgeous.
Very nice. That was Mr. Aidan from Little Bro Vape Reviews. On to Mr. Adam from What's That Behind You?
It's Superman over his haircut. Homer, much love. Hope stay safe. Stay safe. That's all we can say. And much love to you over there. Just please stay safe.
Yeah, big love, Toma.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I am on a plethora of bits and pieces. This evening I'm on the X-Ross. Where's my camera? I've moved everything around, and I am going to 100% blame Vic. Because if you'd have not got the Luxotic in the charity auction last week, right, I'd have not spent nearly half a day looking for it. It is somewhere in my house. I don't know where.
Oh,
but you know when you start to
exotic, right?
You know when you start to move things around, and then once you've started moving things around, you think, "Oh, fuck it, I'll just put this and that." And I ended up moving everything around, right? So I'm on the X-Ross. In that, I have got some Cherry XL, wherever the bottle is. There it is. Cherry XL by Riot Bar Edition. Very nice. Two different types of cherry. It is Morello and another one. And then I'm on the Innikin S100 semi-disposable kit. Now, it's one of them rechargeable ones. It's supposed to have 7,000 puffs in it. It's supposed to have 7,000 puffs go through that coil.
How much liquid's in that tank?
It's a 2 mil tank.
You can't get 7,000 puffs out of that then.
Well,
go on.
The one that I reviewed for Bear Juice, which is Tom's, we were talking about it before. That was because they were saying 7,000 puffs because it came with a 10 mil bottle.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's 7,000 puffs through the coil, not liquid capacity. So, right there, 10 mil bottle is 600 times 5.
So it's basically a refillable sealed. It's basically a refillable sealed lock pod kit.
Yep.
It's not really a disposable.
No, semi-disposable.
Yeah, semi, because you.
It's a sealed lock pod kit. That's what it is.
Exactly. But you're supposed to be able to get 7,000 puffs out of that coil.
I think what they tried to do was, they were like Bear, was trying to market it to the people
who are using the illegal
disposables.
To talk in their sort of lingo. You know, instead of going to them, well, look, this is a pod system that you're going to have to fill up. It's got massive. It had massive writing on 7,000 puffs. They're going to think it's a disposable, so they're going to pick it up and you can recharge it, and it hasn't. It's got a 10 ml bottle in it, and then hopefully they're going to think, well, I tell you what, that's a bit cheaper and it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy, but
And it's TPD compliant.
exactly.
2 mil capacity tank.
But unfortunately for me, the pod seems to be giving up the ghost already, and that's the first fill,
Oh.
which is a bit annoying. Good old trusty faithful B60. I'm starting to get existential dread that this is going to give up soon. You know when you start to feel it, and I'm scared.
Well, you need to get onto that existential e-cig 1.
I know. Well, we've just got
Other
topside
shops available.
duals. Yeah, we've just got topside duals in, and I'm like, maybe. Very expensive, but maybe. Red Raz in that. I'm on the Pulse AIO 1.5 in that. I have got a really, really nice Chico's Coils build in there, with some, again, mystery 50/50 liquid that I'm testing. It's actually, a lot of people will have seen them in chat. We're starting to see 50/50 short fills starting to come out. And this is actually Riot Squad's Blue Cherry Burst in 50/50 double concentrate.
Double concentrate. Ooh.
Double concentrate.
Dispergo have just done that, haven't they?
They've just done the jacked range. Yeah, they've just done the jack range. So a lot of the companies are starting to do the double concentrate short fills that are specifically designed to tomorrow's Nick Salt users who are going to go, it's cheaper to use a short fill. And then...
Let that burp go.
I did. I let it go as well. You're all right. I went G-Class with the non-flaking.
Yeah,
Fucking seriously, you're still casting up the flaking part. That's fine. Mine's is fine. Okay, it's a brand new panel because the first one flaked, but mine's is fine.
I've got the Dead Rabbit V2 on there with some wonderful chocoleo. And that's me. I've got some lovely apple and pear squash as well.
I think they've just is it the 6th year or something of the SQ?
I think it is. Is it?
They've just or the 6-year anniversary or something like that, and they've just released a load of new tops for it or a new run of it.
Yeah, something like that. I know there was an anniversary post put up, but I just skimmed past it. That was Adam from What's That Behind You, on to our 2-week guest, none other than Mr. Mark SoulOhm. What you sucking on, Mark?
I haven't done a hand check in yonks.
Yeah, get your buffet out.
See, we're old school here, and plus it's content to fill up the rest of the show, but we don't have any content.
Okay, right. I've got the Valkyrie with the slam piece.
Oh, would you look at
That
that?
I've got strawberry custard from Johnny's Juice.
Ooh.
I've got the Fallout Mech from Purge with the Zeus X, the original Zeus X.
Oh, I love the Zeus X.
That's Zeus X.
It's still my go-to one. Also, on that one, what have I got? Blue Raz strawberry custard. Blue Raz strawberry custard.
Blue Raz strawberry custard.
That's an odd mix.
I know, very odd, but it does taste nice. Also, got the Pharaoh from Purge. That's the 18650 slam piece. And on top of there, I've got a really old one. It's the Aquitas.
The
Wow, that is going back a bit.
And in that one,
piece
I've got
really
peanut butter custard.
Oh, I love the peanut butter. Is it dusty though? You know, sometimes you can.
It's not. It's like a really creamy custardy peanut butter.
Oh,
it's lovely. It kind of reminds me, verging on that ice cream.
yeah.
You know when you get you've got a vanilla ice cream and you got the nuts on top.
Yeah.
Kind of got that kind of a taste to it. So
Or like you got like a screwball when they used to put the nuts on it.
Yeah, the nuts. No, your 99 flake. You know when.
Yeah. Posh. You know, posh one when they dipped it in tub.
Yeah, you got it.
You'd never get away with that now, would you? Health and safety and stuff like that.
Cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination.
And I've also got the Winax.
Oh, the Winax S3.
Yeah. And in that, I've got salts.
Have you?
I don't normally do salts.
don't
I've
do
got
salts.
Havana hooker.
I want a hooker too. I want a hooker.
There you go, it's a perfect setup.
Where'd you get your car from?
So yeah, that's it. That's all I'm vaping on at the moment.
It's the usual setup for me. Still on the two Osiris. Osiris 25mm on top of the S, on top of the Q Mini. Osiris 30mm on top of the what?
Branded.
Oh yeah, the branded, of course. It's got to be branded. Yes, thank you. Could do with a branded version of this, but they never sent one in. Yee. I know you're watching.
Probably would, but the paint fell off.
Yeah. plus they'd spent their advertising budget sending you more panels for it.
Osiris 30mm on the G-Class V2. Both of these tanks do, of course, have some wonderful Chico's coils in here. I have got the usual mouth-to-lung setup, although the Albrecht 2 is going to be retired for the Valor next week once the review for that goes out, but it's still a good tank. You can pick these up for about 20 quid these days. On the Oxfa Unibox, and I'm doing a bit of Smock SoulOhm tanking. So it's the Smock T-Air, because they've ditched the TF range now, apparently, so we're going to have a TF 1000 next fucking month, and it's coming, so the Smock T-Air on top of the new Smock Mag Solo 21700, and you know what? I never used to say this about Smock tanks, but their coils are fucking good now. They have seriously improved their coils. This is fucking good. Thoroughly enjoying this.
So how long have you had the coil in there?
About
20 minutes.
No, about a week.
I would say that'd be a really good point in your review. Is how long actually that's, because we all know what Smock coils are like.
No. Well, the Morph 3 with its TF tank, the coil in that lasted about 3.5 weeks.
That's good. That's really
they've done something to their coils. The rumour I've heard is that they're doing all their coils in house now, so they've got their own manufacturing plant and they're doing their own coils, because it used to be Innikin and Newell that made the third party coils for Smock, but about a year and a half ago they started making their own, and you can tell the difference.
What wattage range?
What with this? 0 to 100. Got it running at 75 right now with a 0.25 ohm single core coil. Fucking phenomenal vape out of this.
I think you meant the coil, didn't you?
What?
Yeah, but the wattage range for the coil.
What's the wattage range on the coil?
On the coil, it says in the coil 0 to 65. No, not 0. It says in the coil for this one 20 to 65. I'm running it at 75 to get a slightly hotter vape.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal vape out of this.
The Mini V2, the S1s are probably the only one that I ever liked out of the Mini V2 coils, but they were pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
What was in the Baby Beast?
Mini V2s.
Mm.
They were fine. I'd probably get maybe 2-3 weeks at a push. You know, if you couldn't get
Mush, how you doing?
Yeah,
go on.
It's
going to be one of them.
You go for it, bro.
I was just going to welcome Mark because it's lovely. Do you know what? I always love casting with you. Like, I do. I miss it so much. And we always say this every time. But what's it been like? Because obviously you did something that I didn't. I went completely away from vaping. You've still stuck doing the home service live. If you haven't watched it, everyone in chat, and I'm pretty sure that like 90% of viewers do.
Yeah, Nightbot spamming the link.
Yeah, they're before us on a Thursday, and I love it because it's like three lads just sat round chatting in a pub, talking about everything, putting the world to rights. What's it been like for you? Because obviously you gave up the reviewing side and carried on in the vape scene.
Just like normal, just a lot easier not doing reviews.
Yeah.
That's it. No, I always enjoyed doing the the home service. I mean, it's changed like most long running shows from how it started to where it is now. I mean, we was more heavily based vaping at one point, and then it's verged off to it's just basically three blokes putting the worlds to rights.
Yeah. And that do you know what it has, hasn't it? Because it
with a little bit of as you said tonight, with a little bit of carry on involved. What we're up with BFG tonight. He was horny as out, wasn't he, that kid?
He was on form, wasn't he?
You want to get? Do you know what you want to do? Is you want to get a prosthetic leg and just let him sleep with it?
Yeah. And also, like, it's evolved. The home service live has evolved because
it's got. I mean, let's face it. How long we've been doing it now? 5 years, something like that. It's got to. You've got to. It can't stay the same.
Well, you actually it started off as a podcast, didn't it? Not a podcast.
Originally,
it was actually going to be a weekly vlog by you.
Well, the original version was I was nicking the idea of Grim Green, how he used
Ultra
to
Clouds
on a Thursday.
Yeah,
and I thought that'd be a cool way to do it. Record it. God, if you ever want to do a 30-minute video and edit it and all that, it takes ages.
It does.
Absolutely ages. So I thought, oh, stop that. I'm going to see if I can go live and do it. And that's literally how the home service was born. Then I did that for a few months, and then I got Chris from America.
Lethal Coils.
Yeah, Lethal Coils. He came on for a while, and then it's just progressed. I think
you were running the two though, weren't you? At one point, you had like the live stream, and then you had the podcast with BFG.
Well, what was the plan? The original plan for that one was just me and BFG were going to be just talking about music and that kind of stuff, and it was going to be a podcast. And it just worked out better to do it live on a Sunday. So, with Chris leaving at the time, and BFG coming on to the home service with us, it was sort of like, well, we can't do two shows that are exactly the same, just with the same casters. So it's sort of like one's got to go. So we said, right, well, the home service is going longest, so we'll do the home service, and that's how that happened.
And what?
A lot of people love that on a Sunday, though, didn't they? I enjoyed that one. I used to catch it up, and obviously with me working out, I used to catch up. Yeah, really, really good.
Ironically, this when it was done on a Sunday, we was capturing a lot more people from places like Australia, the Philippines, and places like that, because obviously what were the time differences and everything, because they're roughly about something like 8-9 hours in front of us. And it was brilliant. So we was getting people from different countries coming in as well, more than sort of like you would do like on tonight, where you might get a few Americans in, you might get, Europeans in. So it was great. So we was getting a lot of people from Australia and things like that were actually watching us, which was great. So you was getting a different viewpoint from around the world talking about vaping.
So my other question, because I have got a couple of questions for you, is has doing the Mech series scratched that little review itch that you've had?
No.
No.
I do not. I genuinely. I thought I was. I fell out of love with vaping. I've got to admit, not the actual vaping of it.
Yeah.
But the way that the industry's gone, I fell out of love with art big time. Now when we started reviewing, there was innovation. There was a new tank. There was a new RDA. There was a new Mech mod. There was a new mod. We saw the wattage wars.
Yeah.
Sound like a right over.
No. We lived through them.
We did. We lived through the wattage wars. We remember it before you could get to 100 watts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And things like that. And then there was new ideas coming out all the time. And then roughly, what was it? Just before COVID and everything, it just staled off. It was AIO, disposable. AIO disposable. And it's so like, I don't vape disposables. I don't vape AIOs. I am a Mech guy. I like my RDAs, my RTAs, and my Mechs. So it was getting to the stage where, well, I'm reviewing this and I'm really not interested in it.
Yeah.
The best analogy I could explain, it was like, I was like Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear, but instead of reviewing Porsches and Lamborghinis, he were reviewing caravans.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. You sort of like, I love vaping, I love the vaping community, and I love everything that goes with it. But the actual devices that were coming out, that are still coming out, I mean, I know things are slightly changing a little bit. I wasn't interested in it. So when you wanted to give a proper, good review of a product, you've got to have some little bit of.
Yeah. Because don't forget, at the crux of it, every review is exactly the same. And we've said this before. You've got an introduction, whether that be to yourself or to the product. You've got the product show off, and then you've got your thoughts. Now, when you're trying to be different, or you're trying to have a different viewpoint, when it comes down to AIOs, disposables, pod kits, I think we said it a couple of weeks ago, where you get to a point where everything's just good. Because the technology has come along to a point.
Yeah.
Everything's just good. It might not be amazing. It might not be, but very rarely do we ever get nowadays a seriously bad kit.
And you used to look for, if something you either bought or got sent to you, and it was a bit pants, it made that review feel a little bit better, because you could actually go, look, do not touch this, or you could point out them bits of, look, this doesn't work properly, that doesn't work properly. You make your own mind up whether you're going to actually do this. Where, like you said, nowadays everything that comes out, even what you'd class as a shitty pod system, still does a good job and vapes.
Still does what it does.
It just works.
But with that for the people who don't know about the YouTube side, with that, it does put forward that air of boredom to a certain degree, because if you're doing the same sort of thing week in, week out, along with videos, I mean, I know you did something slightly different. You were finding, before people like Flat Cap came along, by playing different songs, you were finding different songs. You were finding different ways to present your reviews. So
the only reason why I used to do the up and closing with music over background is because I couldn't multitask.
It's true.
Honestly, genuinely, hand on heart, where Vic goes down on the table and he's explaining this and explaining that, I can't do that. If I did that, you wouldn't see the product in shot.
Yeah.
It's like when I first started, I could never get the fucking camera angle to do it. So I ended up doing what Twisted for what was it, 420? Yeah.
You were doing the whole. You were doing.
So I'd already done like the upper close bit and done it, and then I talked over, remembered what I'd actually done, and then fitted it to it. I would take it 5 hours to do a fucking review. It was just so hard work. Where obviously Mark did it, he got the camera angle right, because he did the trick that Vic taught him, which was turn the tripod thing upside down.
Invert the tripod.
I couldn't do that with your C920. That's what I had. That you lot all went and got the posh. I remember when Adam went and got his 4K.
Yeah,
I got.
See, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of you probably don't realise this. See, the reason that I'm using this is the Canon D200. And the reason I got this is because I was talking to Mark.
Me and Mark got him at the same time.
Years ago, and I'm still fucking using the Canon D200s because they're
cracking question. Cracking camera.
They're cheap cameras now because they're out of production now. They're on the fucking mirrorless and shit like that. But because they're out of production, they're fucking dirt cheap. And so are the lenses.
They're still a couple of £100.
That's fucking phenomenal cameras.
See, I was pretty lucky at this, because obviously they all went and got them cameras, and I've just got the C920, so I used to have to unscrew mine and put it down to my tripod here and go through it. And
it were hard work you doing yours.
It was. And the thing is, I had a shitty computer as well, and I had to keep going back and putting the old program on so you could actually change the gamma and all that, and try and get your lighting right on it and everything. So when I actually got the and I wanted a Sony one because the zoom, you know, the actual focus is a lot better and it's mirrorless.
Yeah.
The zoom's a lot better. So when I got that, it was just it was brilliant. I was just like, I still use the C920 for my face and then use that, but it was just hard work.
Oh yeah.
Also, without sounding like I'm moaning as well, I was
Go on, have a moan.
I was doing a 12-hour shift at work, then coming home doing a review. Because what I
Right.
used to do was spend the whole Sunday doing me up and closes. Now I was putting out at the beginning, so like 4 and 5 videos a week, because you wanted to, because you've got to get them out. You got
Oh
to get them
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would spend all day Sunday doing all the up and closes, and then when I'd come home from work, I'd quickly grab my tea, have a quick shower, then start doing. And if you end up with wobble gob,
Oh God, terrible. But you had a set where you did you? I think you released one on a Monday,
yeah,
one on a Thursday, and then one on a Sunday, or something like that. You always mention, and then you had the live show as well, which we went from a Wednesday to a Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
If you remember though, back in day, when we go onto like YouTube algorithms and stuff like that, it was nothing about quality. It was quantity.
Yep.
It was you had to consistently release 4 to 5 videos a week.
Yep.
A week. The moment that you lost it, I mean, don't get me wrong, YouTube used to help you a hell of a lot back then. You used to get pushed to the moon.
Yeah, they don't
And I
now.
think it used to be, I think it was every 50 subscribers you got an additional push into algorithms back then.
And also that, you know, like when you were creeping up to them numbers, you know, like the 50, your subs would slow down. They wouldn't give you them all.
No.
And they'd take a few away and then give you them back again. And then when you get to the 100 part of it, again, they used
What they used to do the purge at New Year.
Yeah.
The big
When we'd all get to like 100 subscribers and they'd go, no, get rid of 10.
Well, some of them as well, the ones who've been buying them, you could tell they had done it because they had like thousands wiped off, didn't they?
Yeah, they lost thousands. In some cases, tens of thousands.
Yeah.
The big thing is, obviously, we had to push, and you had to push hard. But also, because obviously we've always been in the sort of little channel bracket back then, the people who were talking to us were Diana from OEM Product, who can get us in touch with someone else. And the problem is they only wanted to talk at about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So what you'd do is you'd do your reviews, you'd get them all loaded up. We then went on the forums. We posted them all out to the forums, to the Facebooks, to the Twitters, to the Instagram, to everything else. And then you'd sit down for about 2 hours. And then I'd be like, all right, I've just had an email, my first email come through from Diana at OEM White Label Product, who can get me in touch with Sigo T.
Oh God, I remember them. Sigo T, Jesus.
Yeah, who got me in touch with Sigo T, who could get me a single 18650 unbranded white label mod.
Sigo T, bloody hell! They made some really crazy mods back in the day.
Yeah. But the thing is, you'd accept the email, you'd reply to them at 2 o'clock in the morning, you'd continue talking to them for an hour, you'd go to sleep. You'd then wait for your DHL. Everything was so exciting, so you were running off minimal sleep. But then we also got forced on the other side. So you'd receive the product and they'd go, "Where's the review? Where's the review? Where's the review?"
Oh yeah.
Because we were little, you were going, "It's coming! It's 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 coming! Don't disown me! It's coming!"
Oh, blooming heck. I think the worst one for me was Vaporesso.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I really apologise to Vaporesso, but it was sort of like, where's my review?
They still do that.
It's still in China.
It's still in China.
They only got like that later on though.
Yeah, they did.
It was sort of like maybe a year or so after, before COVID. They never used to be like
China.
Yeah, they were lovely to work for, Vaporesso. It's sort of like, where's my review?
Was it
Vanessa? China.
Wasn't it Vanessa before the sort of like?
Yeah.
I dealt with it was Vanessa, and then I dealt with Danny, who was the head of marketing. He moved on to upper management. Now it's someone called Susanna, and as Mark says, it's like they track the package. So they know when DHL's knocking on your front door, and it's guaranteed the day the fucking product arrives, is the review out yet? Is it out yet? And I'm like, no, fuck off. That's probably why they don't talk to me anymore.
And then, so like, you have that, and then you add on to what went off with blooming strikes and everything, with changing the rules, which I still think, me personally, it's their sandpit. That's fair enough. I appreciate that. It's their sandpit, their channel. But I always think there should be a grandfather date if they're going to change anything.
There should be. There should be, but there isn't.
I mean, now we're getting strikes and all sorts from stuff that I'd done 4, 5, and 6 years before.
Again, Mark, we obviously when you come to house and we say as soon as he comes to house, we talk about vaping and the kids are like, right, we'll just leave them two alone and lose goes off and talks to Jan. But we've said before, it wouldn't be too bad if they did want to change the rules. That's down to them, like Mark says, it's their sandpit. But there's got to be a grandfather's rights of like, well, I'll tell you what, you did that before these rules were brought out. So you can't throw my channel off for a set of videos that were done before you changed these reviews.
Yep.
The big thing that come from it all is obviously we lost a lot of good reviewers such as yourself, Mark, and not only that, you kind of get to a point where you do what you did and you just go fuck it, gone, and then gone are all your years of hard work. Now,
well, I started going through all my old videos, and I'm thinking, yeah, I've got X amount of videos, and trust me, there was a lot.
Yeah.
There really was a lot of videos. And I thought, right, okay, I'm going to go through them all. And I got through to probably about 100. I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing this for?
But you can mass do it. That's what Vic did, didn't you?
No, you're not. When you're individually looking at it, you're having to hide blooming URLs.
You've got to do that.
Oh, you're about going through the video itself.
Yeah, watching the video and then editing it. And I got to about 100, and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? It's sort of like, is this video relevant? You find out that no, it's not relevant anymore. You can't even buy the product.
That was the same way I looked at it. I mean, I had reviews going back to the iClear 30, which fucking Anakin don't even make anymore. And when I went through the final purge of the channel, what I basically done is everything that was pre-studio back in 2018, everything from 2014, all the reviews from 2014 to the beginning of 2018, I just deleted a lot, all of them. There's like 1,200 odd videos gone.
It sounds daft. It upset me, and I mean, genuinely upset me, because not only because it's so like all this hard work that I've done
is gone.
I mean, the hours and hours and hours I've spent missing out on family life, missing out on lots of other things, because people don't realise what you do. They just don't. They just think, oh, it's a 10-minute video and that's it, or as in your case, 45.
To be fair, you did get to a point, Vic, where you were like, I've got to stop rambling. My reviews are becoming like DJLSBs. They're 45 minutes long and you know everything about the product by the end of it.
I've managed to knock it down to 20 minutes now.
You're doing well. That's a short.
That's a short for me, yeah.
You've got to look at, there were people such as like Flat Cat Vapor who basically switched his channel off.
Yeah.
Because of that, and he went on to Rumble, and you've got to think, like, all them videos that you did all them years, and like you said, all the time and effort, and then just one press of a button,
all gone.
But not only that, not only the personal side of it as well, it's also the history.
Yeah.
The history of vaping. I mean, like we keep on mentioning it. We lived through the golden age of vaping.
Absolutely.
And we really did. From its right early stages of Vic having long hair and showing us his tobacco in his bin.
Yeah.
But because let's face it, Vic, you started off doing a vlog. You didn't start off doing a review.
Yeah.
It was a vlog. And it's that kind of history that should be preserved. And it's all gone.
It's all gone.
It's so sad.
Again, I took the stance of the fact of if it's going to get thrown off, it's going to get thrown off, and then that's me done and dusted. But the same as it did with you, Mark, it sort of puts you to the fact of all them hours that you're putting in to do it. And
On
it's
a positive
not
note,
the same.
I like I said, I kept the home service. I didn't want to lose the channel because I enjoyed doing the home service.
Yeah.
So it was a case of, do I delete these videos or keep them and might get strike or get me channel deleted? So I thought, sorry, I'll get rid of them.
on a positive note, though, what happened not long ago was the return of the Mech series. Now, I do want to ask you how that came about. Was that I really want to do a couple of reviews, I really want to sort of get Mechs out there, or what was it that brought the sort of Mech series back?
The reason why I brought the Mech series back was because I had every single video that I ever made on a hard drive. I've got a separate external hard drive.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, do you know something? I've put all this time and effort and that doing these videos. So I thought, right, okay, keep it really, really simple. Where I did the up and closer, just re-release that. And that's basically what I did. There's no review. It's not a review.
No, it's a showcase.
Showing old Mechs, basically. I also, should I say this or shouldn't I say this? Sorry. I didn't title them. So it wasn't a title of, this is the Purge Fallout or this is the Purge Slam Piece. I just put, it's the Art of the Mech mod, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So the person has to go and watch them to find out what they're actually going to see.
I think as well, you had a number of clones as well. So I think if you'd have put them on there, you'd have...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, I did watch the videos thinking, is this going to be a comeback? Is this going to be an itch that needs scratching? Is this? But we now know that something. I don't know if you've announced it, but there may be something coming.
Oh, there is something coming next year.
I thought it was just the way it was that.
Hey.
No, I'm turning to be a...
And speaking as someone who has one foot in the vape industry and one foot in the real hobby side of YouTube now, I will honestly say that there's nothing. It feels like when you first started vape reviews. When we first started vape reviews, it was amazing, and it wasn't necessarily the vape side. Although we started to help the people out, it was so much more than that to us who were recording them. And trust me, it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride.
I mean, let's face it, when we first started off, everything was new.
Yeah, shiny.
It wasn't just the vaping side, it was cameras. I mean, I never knew how to use a camera. I didn't know how to use software and that. I didn't know how to edit videos.
Tag them.
I honestly, right, genuinely.
Tagging, sharing them and all that lot. And then, can you remember when we used to have links?
Yeah.
You're helping people out, right? If you like this mod, you can get it at such and such.
Can't do that now.
I remember, and I've said this to you, I think maybe verging on 100 times, I've always been and always will be jealous of the way that you have mastered the C920. Like, if you remember, me and Mark swapped. So he had the Fu Hatton clone that I had a million years ago. And
he's there.
He brought to me at Expo my very first and still my only C920, right? And he brought it me, and I thought, gee Willipers, right? Gee Willipers. I went, gee Willipers, my videos are going to be as good as Mark's. The moment I fucking put it on my laptop, it looked like I was filming it on a fucking sand rubbing. Right?
Yeah, like a Betamax.
It looked like I was missing tracking on it, right? And for years, still to this day, I still think, that bastard swapped me a fucking dud C920.
It was so hard, and you had to find it. It was like the software that came with it eventually. They sort of like updated, and it was crap.
Yeah, it was.
It kept having to go back to the old one.
Yeah. So
you could try and get it at least to some sort of decency. But it was the best that was out there.
Yeah, it was all the streamers were using them back then. If you remember, like anyone who did anything live used the C920, and I thought, I've made it, right? Yep. I've made it. I'm never going to use that bomb because me and Mech Mods back then didn't get on. So I thought, this is cracking. Mark's going to have something that he's going to love. I'm going to be able to be quality. And literally, the moment it looked like I'd give my daughter Crayola and just went, there you go, draw it while I'm live.
I mean,
Stop chewing it. Stop chewing it.
Yeah, get it out your nose.
I mean, you all three of you will know. It's so like it wasn't just that. It was so like I got my new mic. I got a Yeti Blue mic.
Yeah.
I'm professional here. Then it's your lights and all that kind of thing.
Yep.
You think, right, I'm going to improve my lighting. I'm going to do. There's a lot more to vape to reviewing than just a video that goes out every other day.
Oh,
Constant upgrade.
So much more in the background that people do not see.
I think
the amount of Gorilla Glue that Vic's gone through to put shelves up and shit.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
right. All the fucking shelves, no nails for the
nails,
win.
everything.
It's true though. People at the time, people didn't realize how much money we had invested in channels, how much time we had invested in channels, and things like that. And the time, I think, the time is the one thing.
A daft little one. The art of the thumbnail.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck that! That were right hard. That's still hard today. That's still hard today. And do you know what? I'm gonna. This is my violin, right? And I'm gonna fucking play it, right? Because you guys can still go on your thumbnail, right? And just have a posh background. When you're not using your face in videos, when you're only using your voice.
Oh, yeah,
And
you're
you
fucked.
convey a story through a YouTube.
Why don't you just put a sheet over your head? And again, that could be other things there. I wouldn't do that.
Exactly. But the art of the thumbnail only gets harder. Only gets harder when you're not using a product.
Now, obviously, with the title, we was in a show. Vic, we're on all of us, four of us were on the same network, which is the UK Vape network. And it was sort of how I first ever came into anything. We were with these two lads, and what a show we had, which was the last of some of the vapes. We're talking about equipment that we've had. But what about support from people who are still here and people who have gone? All four of us, not just the last of summer vapes. The people who supported us all the way through, who helped, Zan, Gail, Bunny, Darren, Viking. There's just loads of them.
I got my first 1,000 subscribers on my channel thanks to Vic and being on the UK Vape Show.
By the way, how you doing, Simon?
Back in the day, that's it. The thing is, that's if we're going to stick another bow to the old YouTuber string that we're doing, that is another thing. We had to network as well, and you had to make relationships. You couldn't coattail. No matter how many people get called coattailers or anything like that, you could not coattail, because do you know what? And as we've proved, you've got friends for life. If we networked together years and years ago. I mean, the first time me and Mark, and I don't know how many people know this, we obviously all met on the Vape UK network. And literally, I think we all started in the same boat. You seem all right. Do you fancy a show? That's kind of how it went back then. And I started on a Saturday night. I think I joined the network first, except for Vic. Vic's like old school cornerstone.
Vapor that got me onto it.
Yeah, and I got given a Saturday night show, right? That was as a fluffer for the, what was it called? The late night vape show. The
Wasn't it Deal No Deal or something?
they did used to do deals and wheels, but I was doing the Great British Vape Off.
Oh, I remember that show
on Saturday, which was a fluffer for Vic, and then I got a question asked to me: would I like to cast with someone else? And I kind of went, yeah. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Like, sit here on my own for an hour, going. Let me vape this disgusting liquid.
Started off as an hour, but then didn't you go to two?
I started off as an hour on my own originally, and I literally sat there for an hour talking about shit for the first half an hour, And then I was working with a vape shop in Chesterfield who was manufacturing me incredibly disgusting and random e-liquids.
Some of those were really fucking horrible as well.
Yeah, I tried all sorts, lobster and everything. But I went from there, and then I got into a VC call, because we used to use VC then.
Yep.
I got in a VC call of, do you want to cast with someone else? And I was kind of like, yes, I'm really enjoying casting. But casting on your own for an hour,
it's hard.
And trying to put a structure together and everything else. So that next week, I met Mark for the first ever time, and me and Mark went on to start the original version of Last of the Summer Vapes, where we literally do what we do now and sat and put the world to rights, spoke about up and coming products, new stories, everything else. And we did that for a little while, and Mark turned around to me and said, my brother really wants to come on. Would you be happy with it? And I went, yes. That we were in such a good role. I mean, it took us a little while, didn't it? But we were in such a good role that any addition to it were going to be great. And you came on as a guest first, didn't you, Aidan?
Yeah, so I remember tuning into you lads. I think did you start roughly around about the April or something like that? And
something like that.
Then I think I came in roughly like, I think it was somewhere just starting Christmas, November time.
Yeah.
We couldn't make it one week.
Yeah,
Mark either did the show on his own or he didn't do the show. And I went, well, why don't you come and shout me? And he went, well, next time I will. So I don't think you could make it again. And he went, will you come on? I went, yeah. So I started off with my laptop that I used to work for DJing, sat in the front room in my chair. Yeah. And I was like, I can't have a beer out like that. So you know what I mean? And I was just having a bit of a giggle. And then you came on the next week with us, so that we're all three of us. Then you went, do you want to do this full time? And I went, yeah, I'd love to do this full time. And then obviously the way that I am, who like butts in and talks other people, unfortunately.
We always used to feel sorry for you because me and Adam were going, oh yes, and we've got this in, and we've got this in, and you've got. I've
still got me Rulo.
He's got a Relo, and he's got his Mokuyatsu
ball. I'm on the same fucking shit. You're doing this every week.
We're literally we were at a point where products were starting to come in. We were buying a lot of products ourselves. We were getting a good rotation going, and literally every week, because you've got that laptop and you'd sit there with laptop in front of you, and you just got my Relo and I've got my Mokuyatsu bowl. It's a spearmint.
What had happened as well is I just had a mini stroke, which had completely stopped me from smoking completely, because I'd been vaping for a long time, but a lot of dual using. So and then we did the show, and then it got to just before Christmas, and I wanted to call myself Little SoulOhm. I didn't know anything about vaping and how YouTube worked. I wanted to be called Little SoulOhm. Because obviously he's my big brother and I'm the little brother. And he went, look, bro, I'm not being funny.
That's my fucking name.
I can't do that. And I went, why can't I do that? He went, because if you type it on YouTube, I come up. It's sort of like my name. You need to get your own name. So I'm sat there thinking, oh, fuck it, I'll call myself Little Bro Vapes. So I call myself Little Bro Vapes. And what a load of shit I got as well, because obviously it sounds like something to do with kids vaping. Thank God my name's been around for a little while now, because I'd have got some right shit for it now.
Oh, God, now, yeah.
In fact, one of the people who ran the network did actually say to Mark, he's going to have to change his name. I think I got to about 75 subs in about, I don't know, 3 weeks. And he went, bro, they said you might have to change your name. I went, I'm not fucking changing my name. I've got 75 subs. I'm not changing my name. So I started in the January, and that's how it went. But obviously, the way that I am, I started to have a bit of a beer on lives, and we got a little bit more risque. And they decided that
No. We only got risque when we moved to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we had a 9 o'clock. We actually played to the watershed.
Hold on a minute. You've got to think we did 2-hour shows. So what would happen is we started at 6, didn't we, originally,
yeah.
But what we were doing is we were getting a little bit too risque in that, and they went, right, we're moving you to the Tuesday slot at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
and that's where we
Then
went.
9 o'clock happened, and
Yeah, we
Very well.
actually played to the 9 o'clock watershed. I think we have full realm on YouTube to be how you want to a certain degree. But even back then, we used to do the first 8 till 9, and there might be a few swear words, and there might be a little bit of Larry action. We might talk about blue waffle and things like that. But 9 o'clock came.
I've still
And it
got the
just-
bottle.
And you know what, right? My first community guideline strike was for that liquid.
You still get the bottle as well.
I've still got it.
I bet there's some in that as well, isn't there? There looks like there's a little bit in there.
Don't taste it.
I wouldn't.
Makes your lips go
there is
funny.
a little bit.
Oh,
Quite a lot, actually. Look at that. Look how black.
look how dark that is. That's
Like
steeped.
ink.
But do you know what? It was a long old journey, and it was a sad time when we ended it. It was.
Yeah, I were absolutely good.
It was one of them, and the worst thing is that show, what people don't understand, survived a little bit from the background, because we had a background influence that had tried to stir the pot a couple of times and tried to upset the apple cart between us three, and we never let it affect us. If anything were ever said, we kind of went, right, this has been said. No, we never said anything like that. What the fuck are you listening to?
Yep.
And we all clubbed back together. When it came down to the ending of it all, I think it was we'd done the show non-stop for 3 years.
When he says non-stop, I think with that point where I think we missed maybe in all the time 5 shows at the most.
Yeah. And even when one of us weren't there, the show still went on in 3 years. And when it came to it, we were tired. Do you know what? Like we said about the YouTube background as well, while you're trying to do 5 reviews a week, you're trying to live stream. Not only did that, we put together some really, really good content for that show. And that content didn't come overnight. It didn't come within 30 minutes before we started the show. We weren't as up there as we are now with the knowledge, so we couldn't just riff it straight off. It was a lot of research and a lot of time spent behind the show. So when it came to the end of 3 years, and we kind of had the conversation of, I'm tired. We need to have a break. It was sad. It was.
You've also got to think what we took on as well. Mark had started doing the home service. I'd also that got me to do a show with Mr. Coily.
Yeah.
Dan Foxhound, which was the late vape show, wasn't it? So I'd started that, which then came into the 3 Men and a Vape show.
But
to be honest with you, on reflection, I think we stopped at the peak. Instead of fading out, we peaked.
Yeah, we did.
And let's face it, the network didn't survive much longer after we stopped.
I didn't know. Well, you sort of moved away as well, didn't you, Vic, by then?
Yeah, I basically picked up sticks and fucked off very quickly.
Hanky Panky, as old as Ills, we've been around for quite a while. And the thing is, because I definitely had. When I gave up vape reviewing, although I've left my channel up and I tried to come back with the retro vape TV stuff, I'd hit my crescendo. My glass ceiling had been hit. My reviews are dreadful, right? I enjoyed doing them. I really, really enjoyed doing them. And the knowledge that I've gained from this community and the friends that I've gained along the time are more important to me than any of my reviews. If someone said to me tomorrow, shut your channel down, I've got no issue shutting it down. The people that I've gathered along the way make up so much more for the time that put in. But back in the day, when vaping was at its peak, and Mark nailed it absolutely, we could go out, we could talk about what's coming out new every single week. We could talk about a new juice manufacturer that were coming out every single week. Not a new juice range, a new manufacturer who was popping up. So yeah, we've all been around.
You've got to think that obviously Vic before us was way before us, but we've been doing it 7 years, week in, week out.
I mean, this show.
Don't say things like that. Fucking hell.
This show in its various iterations is going to be hitting 9 years this December. Because originally, originally this show was on Vapors.tv before that fucking fell apart and turned to shit, and it was called the Late UK Vape Show, and it was me just sitting here trying to fucking coil shit because there was tanks and tanks and tanks and drippers coming in all the damn time, and it was just me coiling stuff for 2 fucking hours, and then it was me and Glenn. What?
I think you couldn't see half of it either.
Yeah, because it was all out camera. Because it was the C920 trying to point down, sitting and kind of balancing on top of an old fucking monitor at the time. But
you used to have, I remember, 2 pieces of string, a piece of string roped across your wall.
Oh, it's not string now. It's a strip of Velcro.
It's a strip of Velcro.
Yeah,
so
when I'm doing the WhatsApp, because the WhatsApp points that way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I stick it with Velcro there. That's when the camera.
I wondered how you got that angle.
So the big thing with this community, and do you know what? Time past has proved it, that the more it splinters, the more it comes together.
Oh yeah,
Simon was just saying that.
Yeah, and it's 100% true, because we have Vapors.tv, right? The beginning of all vaping streaming, essentially. We had YouTube when it started its streaming server that then turned into the UK Vape Network. We had that then moves on to your own shows and your own places and your own little comfortable spots. But as the industry has splintered, the community has come together a lot more.
Yeah, Sam was saying that. This has been the best sort of feeling of the community for a long time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
It's been the best sort of feeling. Not everybody gets on, and that's life. Certain people not like other people. It just happens. But what people now have is a little bit of tolerance, which is nice to have. You're never going to get a set of people who go, I like him, I like him. There's going to be people who don't like him. It happens.
Right then, fellas, I have a very small sack.
Fucking hell, it's 10 o'clock already. That went quick.
I have a very small sack that still needs emptying.
You were the one that said it, not me.
Exactly. If I say it, look, when Retro Vape TV came about, the first person I did a react on was myself, because if you're going to say it, you need to at least take the bollocks first. Talking about bollocks, I will empty my sack. This is a special one. This is a special one. I did say in the UK Vape group, if you haven't already, go over to the UK Vape Show. The link is in chat at the top in the pinned comment, and you can have the chance to win yourself a cookie. William Dobson writes in.
Oh, here we go.
Fluff. Planet Shuffle. Age can't remember. Wait there. It's been 7 years. And so, after being sore after leaving Forever Hard and the mother of all hangovers, the crew of this Nexus-class starship are slowly but surely getting back to normal, and only a few hundred light years left of our final destination. Then it will be the long-arse trip back home and a very good payday, which will probably be followed up quite quickly with another grand piss-up. To the casters of the #1 UK Vape Show, you are all at the Vapor Expo and standing at a stall that has nothing but custom-made Mech mods, both parallel and series. Vic is standing behind everyone, occasionally peeking out as he thinks it's a bomb. You are now given a chance to try one of these beautiful mods, but you only have the choice between Dual 18650 series or Dual 21700 series.
Oh, fuck off.
Which one would you choose and why? P.S. And as ever, Vic goes last.
Fuck you, William.
To be honest with you, I've not had a lot of experience with series and stuff like that. But I would go for 21700.
Go for it, Mark. This is a you question all over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for any, to be honest with you. I'm not a big series fan. But if I
fuck off. Don't sit on the fence. Your ass got splintered.
I'm being honest. I don't do series vapes. Never have, really. If I was going to do a series, because I hate building series coils. Oh, too many wraps and all that kind of stuff.
Series coils are too fucking big.
Yeah.
Dual 2100 would be punchy.
Yeah, you might as well go for a 2100.
Yeah,
Even a
you've got to.
21700 would be good as well.
Your battery drop's not going to be great on, not going to be too bad on dual 21700. It'll carry it load a lot better,
Hell of a lot better.
but it'll be punchy. It would be punchy.
What's the point in just going to a 2700? I was doing 21700.
The thing is, once this is what I don't sort of understand with the vape scene, that we have 21700s in our grasp, right? Which are, at the end of the day, so much better than an 18650.
They're designed for vaping.
Yeah.
650s aren't.
But we just can't get his head around them.
Go on, Vic. It's your answer. Oh no, have you gone, Adam?
Yeah. I've gone dual 21700 as well, and I would, because one, it's going to be nice and punchy, and it's going to be punchier for longer.
Vic's doing that face.
I tell you one thing though, I will say, I won't want a stacked either. I don't like stacked.
Oh no, fuck stacked.
Oh,
what the fuck? That's a pipe
what-
bomb waiting to go off.
Yeah, but the thing is though, a lot of people don't realise that when you've got two batteries that are stacked on top of each other, it doesn't matter if it's in series or parallel, you don't get an equal amount of draw from both batteries.
True.
That's where you cause your problems.
Yep.
And also, you look like you're playing a fucking flute.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks fucking stupid.
I guess it's my turn.
Mark H, don't shout at me.
If I had my hand twisted round my back and I fucking had to choose one, not that I fucking would, because I would just walk away, I would go for dual 18650, but not stacked in a box, like a box series mod, like that. And that one from Geek Vape from years ago, the Geek Vape Mech Pro, because I've got one behind me actually. That was like a Mech in a zinc alloy fucking heavy mod, but it was dual 18650 in series. And the way I'm looking at it is this: if the thing goes up like a fucking Roman candle, it'll go out quicker if it's a pair of 18650s. I fucking hate Mechs.
Do you know what, right? Whenever I think of anything that's dual, the only thing I can always think about is the original Noisy Cricket.
I've got plenty of that.
If you remember, I think I got you one for Christmas. And when they first came out, right, I was one of these people. I was petrified. I was absolutely petrified, because everyone who spoke about them literally went, they're incredible. They hit like a drunk stepdad. But
If you'd like to actually look at that a bit more closely, I do have a video of that on my channel.
It's
but
a fucking heavy mod as well.
they turn around.
The cherry bomb. Anyone remember that?
What, the Frankenfurter box?
No, the cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb, yeah.
One hell of a mech, this thing, when it first came out.
Again, it looks like one of them things you throw into the bottom of the water where you got your pajamas on to go and fetch it. It's one of them looking mods.
But the thing is, when the Noisy Cricket came out,
With armbands.
The armband.
everyone used to say,
How am I going to get to the bottom with armbands on? No wonder my dad was snapping on top of my head.
William Dobson says that you're putting that in the auction.
There's a lot of that's the history cupboard. There is a lot of really, really fucking good mods going way for. Some of them are actually shit, but there's a lot of like that there. Some of you might recognise the shape, but yes, some of that's going to be going later on.
Just talking about that auction, Vic, you put a poll up, didn't you, on the site about, are you going to do sort of like the ticket thing, or are you still going to do it like a normal auction?
We're going to split it. So there's going to be, the way I'm figuring out is this: there's going to be, instead of 5 boxes, 6 boxes. Half of them are going to be auctioned live in chat, and the other half are going to be ticketed. That way the folks from the US, for instance, that can't make the live show, they've still got a chance of getting in with a bid.
Somebody was also asking, are you going to fit another sneaky one in before Expo? Like, like next week, if you're going to do that. Somebody were asking.
Yeah, we might sneak a sneaky one in next week.
Kevin, now is the time to try a mech, as silly as that sounds, because modern day mechs are not safe, because there's always that air of pilot judgment that needs to go in there. But as long as you build safe, they've got Delrin tubes in them now. The buttons are a lot safer than they used to be. It's a good time to try.
Kevin, I'd said to Mark, I gave you it, didn't I? The Trishul. from Vape. Absolute brilliant starter mech that, and you can also get a version of it. I think it was I think the one I reviewed with the V2, but they did another version of the V2 with a kick chip in it, so you've got a little bit more of safety in it.
I mean, mechs,
Well, I would recommend if you're interested in getting into mechs, I'd look out for I think it was UL that made it, the
Soulkeeper semi-reg.
Yeah, I've got one.
I've got one here somewhere.
And they are they're fantastic. It's got the same feel as a regular. God, I've got one of them as well.
The camel.
Hanky panky, not the Fush. They have constant battery draw on light.
You heard about that?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the fella.
So the good thing about this as well is you can turn it upside down, so you can either take a 21700 or it takes an 18650.
Yep. Good bit of
And
kit,
it's got a
that.
chip on it. It's only a protection chip, but that's it. But it's very
That's all
much
you
like
need.
having a Mech.
Ooh,
But yeah,
I love my clutch.
I love my brick.
I love my clutch.
I love my clutch. I love my purge.
Yeah, I've got quite a few
Clutch.
versions.
I've got one right there. The dragon's
Well,
holding it.
the biggest thing is make sure that you build within the parameters. Make sure you know your battery safety, and make sure you triple check everything.
Ohm's law
Yeah.
and all that
Condom.
shit.
At the end of the day, if you're using a Mech, you are the safety.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on to that, Sean Garb writes in, and this one is directed directly at Mark's SoulOhm crew.
Ooh.
What's the most shocking thing you've seen someone do with a mech? Mind out of the gutter, please, or not.
Oh,
This
that's
one
dead
time
easy. When
at
I used to
Bandcamp-
work at the vape shop, used to get people coming in. Oh, I'm having problems with this. You don't screw it and have a look. Yeah, the battery's got old tears in it and rips in it, and oh yeah.
Oh no, you don't
You
do that
won't
in a mech.
believe. I'm not being awful to the average vapor, but you are surprised how little information they know about what they're actually doing.
Yep.
You would be so, honestly, at some point you'd be shocked. I've seen people come into the shop with mods, not just mechs, but regulated mods as well, and there's no battery wraps at all. No insulators.
Seen it.
That's oh no, that is fucking scary.
I'll tell you what. I had a mate of mine, Tim, from work. He come down and he bought one of the old Rulos, and I took his batteries, took them back out and looked. There were nothing. Absolutely everything had ripped off. It would just, and I'm like, mate, this will explode. This will explode, and it's not like an AA battery. It's a bomb.
It goes up like a fucking Roman candle.
Yeah. Scott Wood, .mod Petrie V2, cracking. I've still got my .mod Petrie Live, which Mark made me buy in black, right? Because I wanted the Tiffany blue one. We were walking around, right? And my strategy for Expo was always pick out one thing I want, because I can't afford everything, and pick out one thing I want, and that was it. And I think that was the same year that I wanted the AsVape Michael.
Michael, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I wanted the
Won't sell it,
AsVape
yeah.
Michael.
Come back Tuesday.
Fucking would not sell it me, right?
They've sold it to
Oh
somebody
yeah,
else
you mean
afterwards,
one of
didn't
the, you mean one of these?
No,
Adam?
I've still got mine, right? The bastard sold them to fucking Ball Sonic, right?
they? No, my name is Balls.
We walked up to the AsVape stand, and I was like, Michaels, I don't care how much they are. I would like one, please. Take my money. And they went, we're very sorry. We can't sell. Maybe
what
come
I
back
was gonna say-
Sunday.
Yeah.
I went, I'm only here today and tomorrow. All right, come back tomorrow. We'll see if we can sell you one. I turned up the next day. They went, put your name on list. What? You've told me that you can sell it me. So anyway, I was walking around a little bit downtrodden. And we walked
He
past.
was sad, honestly. He had them really.
Yeah, the best thing is we did the
fucking
Black
bad.
Ice Challenge with Balls Sonic, and he pulls out his AsVape Michael.
But it wasn't that Michael that he showed either, was it? It were a different colour and shape. No,
Yeah.
same shape, but it were a different colour than what Vic just had.
Yeah.
It were like goldy and
Yeah, he pulled his out and went, This is amazing. Like, I'm like, you bastard.
Yeah, I think that I think the Vape Michaels had something like 25 different variants of how they looked.
Yeah, and anyway, I'm walking around really dejected, and I think I originally went up to get a dot mod vape mat, and then we started looking at the Petri lights, and I seen it was Tiffany blue, right? It was really, really nice. It was a really light powder blue.
Yeah,
right?
but once it only in 18650s.
Yeah, it was 18650. And the best thing is, as I'm walking around, as I'm looking through this counter, Mark's going, all your RDAs are black. You're not going to be able to get one. What? And he's giving me all these reasons not to buy the Tiffany blue one. And anyway, I did end up buying the black and gold version of the Dot Mod Petri Light, which I've still got it. Absolutely adore it. But that's a cracking question. Actually leads us segueing onto the next one. The wonderful Amanda Gibson writes in. Our wonderful moderator, the spanner, the absolute amazing spanner that is Bunny. To Mark, Aidan, and Adam, what is your favourite memory from hosting Last of the Summer Vapes? And Vic, what is your favourite memory as a viewer?
I can't remember what the fuck happened yesterday, for fuck's sake.
There are loads.
I think my absolute favourite was where obviously I used to cast from the kitchen as well, didn't I? I used to stand up with my shitty camera on my laptop. Well, you used to do a news segment and you brought up the
Petri dish with cinnamon in it,
and that was just hilarious. And we've got if you haven't gone to watch these shows, go back and watch them, because majority of the time you would find fits of giggles, all three of us. And lots of times we sort of didn't want to do the show because we were knackered or whatever else, but we just laughed. So the fact this woman from Dundee, I think,
she was a student. I can tell you the story. I still remember it, and it'll be burned in my skull forever. So the woman was a student nurse who was doing a study on vape flavors on men's sperm. Now, what she'd done is she took basically a spoonful of natural cinnamon and put it into a
semen. I thought you were going to say that.
Put it into a petri dish of male
in a teaspoon.
Male sperm, and obviously, foreign body into a petri dish. It killed the sperm. And she went, "Don't vape cinnamon. It kills your sperm." I found out if you vape cinnamon, it kills your sperm. And anyway, this story we did used to do. I used to go on the Vaping Post, which is still a website that's still available now, and pick out the latest stories. And that was one story that we just could not keep like our heads together on at all.
Brilliant. We went through this entire comedy sketch of how she got the semen and how she got the cinnamon in there and all that. It was just so funny. And I think we did 2-hour shows at that time. 2-hour shows. And I think we did about an hour on it, and it was just so funny. It was just brilliant.
I have to admit, so it indirectly comes from the show. My favourite memory from hosting it is obviously it's a journey between me, Mark, and Aidan. We were at Expo, and we had a guy called Chris who'd come on our show quite a few times, who was running a charity event. Now, this can be a long-winded memory because this guy wasn't a caster. He wasn't anyone who had done any live streaming or anything like that. And what it was is while we were doing the live stream, his poor dog, right, wouldn't stop running, barking, sounding like it were being kicked.
And the budgie.
And he must have had I think he had one of the old glass desks. So every time he put his kit down, you heard it. Tink-onk glass. He had a bag of crisps outside of his keyboard or mouse that kept on ruffling.
And Skittles.
Skittles. Chris was such a nice guy, and I don't.
His wife, they were really nice. And you
I don't know what he's doing now, but I hope the best. I hope everything. He had a brain tumor, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. That's why we did all the charity stuff.
Yeah. And
Chris Beringer.
That's it. And he was such a nice guy. And we had him on a couple of times. Well, we said to him, we'll meet up with him at Expo. And if you go back, like Aidan said, if you go back and watch it, in our actual intros, there is actually a little clip where we're outside, where I'm going to talk about now. So, me, Mark, and Aidan...
sorry to interrupt, but this is when Expo was absolutely brilliant, because there used to have stands that had this sort of thing that were going on.
So, the beginning of this memory, we were walking down and we seen Frontline. Like, Frontline, back in the day, released quite a few nice range of juices. And what they'd done is they'd put essentially one of these big escape room things in Expo.
Very military, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you walked in, and when you walked in the door, you walked into this like briefing room that started lights flashing and everything went dark. And as you walk through, bearing in mind, right, Aidan's the same size as me, height-wise, and a little bit wider on the shoulders, aren't you? Right?
Thanks, mate. I like said height-wise.
Height-wise, and I said you're slightly broader than me on the shoulders. Right? He's a big, scary man, what I'm trying to say. Mark's a little bit smaller than us.
You're already in the middle.
Right? Mark's a little bit smaller than us. But this soft lad gets put at the front, right? With a small push from both crew brothers.
I remember this story, yep.
In the back, right? And as we're walking through, they were people making you jump. There were lights, there were flashes, there were boxes that opened up and everything else. And we were walking through honestly, right? I got to the end of this fucking walk and I turned around to both of them and I went, if some fucker else makes me jump, I'm going to punch him in the nose.
That's what he said, yeah.
But literally, I'd got to a point where I'd been pushed through. These two are fine, pissing themselves behind me as I'm like crumbling through it. Anyway, we gets out. And as we get out, we run down to Chris and his missus. And I turned round and went, you'll never guess what. Come and get in this queue. We're going to go in this room. And it were Aidan who turned round to me and went, he's got a brain tumour and epilepsy. He can't go in there. We'd queued up, though. We'd queued up to get in.
Fucking queuing up. I'm going, bro, you can't take him in there, mate. Yeah. He's got epilepsy and he's got a brain tumour. You got to kill him.
God, those
I've never been more apologetic at ending it. I went, I've built you up for all this and we can't go in.
Those frontline booths back in the day were fucking phenomenal, though. They were phenomenal booths.
And do you know another thing as well, as you're talking about them dot mods and stuff like that, and you used to save you a bit of money that you got to buy stuff. There's nothing there for you to do that at the minute, is there? There's none of that sort of stuff to do it, apart from the home zone.
I've got one, and it's just one word. Tuna.
Oh, it's not tuna. Do you know what? Don't, because I was having this conversation with Jackie last night. So for the ladies and gentlemen in chat that don't understand, right, my pronunciation is quite elegant.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
I unfortunately, I do not say tuna. It hasn't got a CH in it. It's a TU, which is tuna.
It's wrong.
Tuna.
It's tuna. It's Tuesday. And you take the tube. You do not take the tube. It's not got a CH in it. Well, we honestly, we must have made about 16 shows out of it. The fact that I don't say tuna, I say tuna.
Tuna.
I can't remember what me and Jackie were talking about.
Nose.
Me and Jackie were laid in bed last night and I was saying something. I think I said something like Tuesday. And she went, what? I said, it's not got CH, it's Tuesday. I said, if anything, I'll emphasize the U. But yeah,
you don't call it conifers, do you?
No, exactly.
You don't call it knickers.
It's a knife.
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 It's tuna.
Tuna.
It's not a pahone, is it? It's not a pahone.
And that was the other one. YouTube.
Oh, fucking hell. We had loads. Ladies and gentlemen, we also had loads of t-shirts as well.
Yeah.
We had the Hag Tash No Mash.
Oh, don't.
That one I remember, the no mash one. Yep, the no mash one.
Hag Tash No Mash. We had
Cheaper than black pudding.
Cheaper than black pudding. Ball bag
burger.
Pudding.
Dirty burger.
Dirty burger. Oh, you dirty burger.
There you go, belt. Good tank.
The honestly, right? There is so many times We had so many guests on there. We tried all sorts of things, and we had the greatest laughs. One of them that always springs back to me is, did he shush me?
Yeah,
While we were deep in conversation. I think
he shushed you.
I think it was Mark who went, "Shh," and I went.
No, he went. Shh.
Did you shush me?
I always love the one as well with you and me. He'd got this 4K camera. So the thing
Why
is,
do you need 4K?
I used to go out and have a game of snooker and then come back home and do the show. So I'd had a couple of beers. So we sat down and I'm going to, yeah, but you bought this 4K camera.
It was a GoPro. It was only a GoPro and it could shoot in 4K.
Isn't it like just the content that you're putting out, not so much about what your video quality is? And then Andy went, just stop it, Aiden.
Just stop it. Because he was going, yeah, but 1080 is fine. Why do you need 4K?
And you've got to think of that time, nobody had a fucking 4K telly either.
No. I was just happy that I bought myself a GoPro Hero 5 Black Edition. And it was 4K.
Mad on that blooming thing.
Why do you want 4K? And I'm like, it just does it. It's fine. It'll just be quality. Well, you don't need 4K.
Nobody's got a 4K fucking telly. Yeah, that was fun. Vic, what was can you remember any moments that you liked? No.
Now the only thing, because I did, back then I used to watch a load of fucking shows because I was glued to the network back because I was one of the fucking moderators as well. But the only thing I can remember is every single show had me giggling, and it was the only show that did that.
There's
every
a lot
single one.
There's a lot of fun memories, and some of the fun memories are not even from the show. It's like Simon Jedi Warner. The most humbling moment we've ever had, and we've spoke about it multiple times, when we was actually stood at the chill out zone at the bar, and some random person, literally bearing in mind, we've said it a million times, a lot of you, we don't know what you look like because it's just avatars that we see. And
they have strange names as well.
Yeah.
And balls.
Hey, it's me, Derek.
Yeah.
Derek? Yeah, Derek, I watched your show. No. But you'd have to eventually.
We were stood there, we were all chatting. And while we were all chatting, this guy is stood in the background on crutches with
85 bags.
Yeah. Like your mum walking in with shopping, right?
Oh,
wrapped around the crutches. And in his hand, he had a gold Sharpie and a Demon Vapor. So the original Rochford project, he had a Demon Vapor poster. And he turned around to all three of us and he says, I watch your show every single week and it makes me feel better and everything else. Started coming out with all these nice words. He says, will you sign my poster? And I honestly felt like turning around to him and saying, I want you to sign my poster. Like this is kind of why we do it. If people can enjoy it like that, then this is why we do it.
See you later, Hanky.
But yeah, he was obviously suffering from his back, and he was in the army.
Really poorly.
He'd been in the army.
And we had moments like that. Ian, we were talking about it. I think it was last week, the week before. About Ian from Castle Vapes. I think it were me and you who were stood near Coil Art, or what were they called? Coil
Art, they did.
No, the e-liquid company, Coil. What, I can't remember what they were called, but they released a load of liquids, and we were stood with Ian from Castle Vape, and Ian turned round to us and went, "Your show seriously is special, and what you do week in, week out is hilarious. It's heartfelt," and it started spouting all this really nice stuff, and basically turned around to us and says, "Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. No matter what you do, carry on being you guys." And some of the memories, Simon Townsend, Blue Waffle, don't Google it. Whatever you do, don't Google it. I think I said that, and Mark Googled it instantly. But the memories that we've got will literally last forever.
You watch a lot of the shows that are on now, which are fantastic shows. A lot of the models came from, passed down from what had actually happened, what we did 7 years ago, and probably people who did it a little bit before us, it was passed down.
And
you can
pictures of
see
shows.
the styles on different shows, and they've brought it to their own version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we played higher and lower. If you remember, we played all sorts of games. We played all sorts of games. We did all sorts of things, and we tried to make it fun. And the network at the time, I mean, we've seen some casters come and go, and we've seen some casters that we've sadly lost along the way. And some of the things that were done on that network, not just our show, but Tony from Tony's e-cig stuff.
Yeah, what a man.
When he were doing Vape Detective and stuff like that, there's some stuff that were way
Bitches, the bitches were just brilliant.
way before its time. And I have some great memories from that network. I also have memories of trying to watch Michelle just play music. Bless her.
Well, she had the horrible shitty show, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
4:00 in an afternoon.
yeah.
And if people don't understand what we had, it was basically a YouTube channel, but it were a network. So it went from Monday to Sunday. I think Thursday I think they had Thursdays off.
Yeah.
And there would be a show from 4:00 all the way up to 12:00 at night.
Yeah. Chris Empire Vape
They on one channel all night.
And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, and some great memories had by all. I know that Vic's wanting to do a box away, so we're going to crack on with the...
We'll kick that off at 2:45.
Yeah, so next question is from the wonderful Connor Smith. Question for all casters. I like this one as well because he starts it off with bit of a controversial one.
Ooh.
With the RDA and RTA users, but with how good stock coils have gotten, what is the advantage of continuing to build and use rebuildables? I discovered recently that the flavour from a lot of the new SoulOhm tanks, e.g. the Falcon Legend from Horizon Tac with the Falcon series coils, provide good, if not on par, flavour compared to rebuildables. Just thought to discuss.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. If you look at it, now I totally agree. And if you want to have a tank and not have all the thing about having to re-wick it and all the blah blah blah, and you just want to change your coils, then yes, that's perfect for you. But it is cheaper. You get a decent set of coils like from Coil Clout or from John the Builder. You're gonna have that coil's gonna last you 6 months at least.
Oh yeah, if you take care of it. Yeah.
I'd like to give another slight spin.
We'll go for it.
Go on, mate, get out of your chair.
Woo!
There is something special about making your own coils, building your RDA, wicking it. There is something therapeutic about it as well.
Well, you always had that,
Like,
didn't you? You always
it's an
said that.
achievement.
Do you know what? Me and Mark used to sit for hours on the phone a million years ago, didn't we? Building. Like, we'd sit there just building coils, talking, twisting coils, talking. And we came up with a really good theory that a lot of roll-up users build their own coils.
Yeah.
And it is one of them. There's a routine to it. Rebuilding, re-wicking.
I think I mean, especially when now we're talking about AIOs and things like that, and so like your stock coils, I think there's a little bit of a detachment from it. I know it sounds a weird way, but it's it's almost going to the point of having a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the shop, you buy your packet of cigarettes, you open it up, light it, done. That's as much involvement as you want. That's fine. But with vaping, especially if you're a hobbyist like us four are, the actual integration of actually making it yourself is a big deal. I mean,
I tell you what, the thing I use, especially when you're using small round wire, then you're thinking, shit, did I put 5 in that or is there 4 in it? Then you start to take a picture with your phone and start squinting. It's fucking.
I would consider myself nowadays as what I like to call a hybrid user. So during the day, I'm on high nicotine because since lockdown, that's what I've needed. Since lockdown, my nicotine intake went through the roof, and I've said it a million times before. You've got 2 choices when it comes down to nicotine. You either put more in, or you pick up fags because that's where the stress level is.
Yep.
During the day, I will normally carry Pulse AIO because it's got a build in it, and I feel like a real vapor. but I've also got a pod kit with 20 milligram in it. And that's kind of where I sit. I still love the routine. I still love the idea of sitting down, putting fresh wick in. And when it comes down to new stock coils, yes, the technology has come on leaps and bounds, and we were only saying it about Smart. The coils have come on leaps and bounds.
I mean, let's face it. Once upon a time, practically the only vape would be an RDA for flavour.
Yeah.
It's not true now. I don't care what anyone says.
No, it's not. It's not.
The flavour that you can get from a normal standard tank are amazing. I've spent absolute hours watching this little fella build coils. Absolute hours. Can you remember old not Twisted 420, what's his name? Dry Knuckles.
Rip Trippers.
Rip Tripper. He used to be an absolute fantastic builder.
In the early days. Yeah.
In the early days.
I remember watching his stovetop coil build about 80 times, thinking, even I could do that.
And
but it's one of them.
That's the different. Being a hobbyist vapor is a vast different from being just a standard regular vapor.
When Vic went back and he put the first, they were saying you couldn't do it. He put a first coil in the Nautilus.
Oh yeah, the Aspire and a whole bunch of people on the e-cigarette forums were saying it's impossible to rebuild the original Nautilus coil head. I've done it.
He did it. You gotta think he's Mr. Migo. He can't see a fucking thing, but he did it.
The thing
I
is,
used to do it on the Atlantis coils.
I
Tell
tried
you
to
something,
build.
the best sub-ohm tank to do it with was the original Kangertech sub-ohm tanks. They were
the
easy
Nano.
to redo. Seriously easy to redo.
See, that's why I went to a single coiler, because a single coiler was just simple. You just made one coil.
You used to do the Wasp, didn't you? Wasp Nano.
Wasp Nano. Well, Mark, the first I was telling Mark did it. We were sat in Expo when we all bought it. Well, I was searching for it. I really wanted it, and Mark sat down there. Jan was snuggled up in bed. She got a glass of wine. Lou were there, and he sat there with door shut, twisting it on door.
Yeah.
Come out at 5. We're at 5, something like 5. I think it was 0.5. You come out.
Yeah, something daft like that. Yeah.
Nice 50 water, and I had it on the Nugget.
For me, the stock coil changed when Freemax released their mesh coils. For me, that is when coils started to, I wouldn't say equal because it weren't equal back then, but it was very close to RDA, RTA flavor. Now, obviously, we have seen, just to name a couple, you've got the Wasp Nano, you've got the Gear RTA, you've got things like that, small little condensed chambers that created great flavor. And
Falcon, you had Horizon Tech Falcon, then you had EH Pro who did the Raptor.
Mm-hmm.
You then the Valerian.
Oh God, yeah.
The Crown series.
Can you all remember when these first came out? It was like
off.
Oh God, no!
Yeah,
this is going to be bad because we've all had an RDA, mesh RDA, and we know that lovely kiss from the devil.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't we? We all know that.
We were brilliant. Dense cloud, massive flavour. You got to think as well. We were coming from things like the iSub tank, cool fires. You know, like at 30 watts. These were pushing a higher wattage that you'd not seen, and this were dense, hard clouds.
It was the mesh, the Freemax mesh, the Freemax Mesh Pro, the first version with the mesh coils. Now, honestly, the flavour of it was mushy. It was in your mouth. It was full. It was mushy. You were like, this is RDA flavour. And there were no dry hits from the first runs of coils. There were no wonky coil from the first runs. They were brilliant.
If you're put into the fact of mesh of like how you build it in an RDA.
Well, I can't fucking build mesh for the life of me.
It's not the same fee if you're getting it in a stock coil.
No.
It's totally different. You're not going to get that unless obviously you've got no juice in it. You're not going to get that hit from hell. But the flavour.
Those RTAs that use mesh, and it doesn't matter which one you've got to have it at lower wattage, so it's a cool vape.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the
like a warm vape, then you need to go on to proper coils.
But if you're using a SoulOhm tank, you don't have to worry
completely
about that at
different.
all. You could do it up to 120 odd, and you're going to get a lovely warm vape. We're on about SoulOhm tanks, not sat there as a
No. But Fee had put in chat, and I'm to be honest with you, I had the Profile M RDTA, right, which still to this day lives in its box because it is.
Yeah.
I can't build it no matter how many times I've tried, and I automatically think that
That's
once
one
you
with the ceramic thing at the bottom.
that's the one with the ceramic thing. But also, if you think about any RDTA, it's got to rely on capillary action, so it's got to pull the liquid up to feed into the coil. But when you've got that much cotton under your coil, but you've got that much cotton coming down into your RDTA ports to wick up, it just doesn't work. For me, it doesn't. Do you know what? I've heard people say it's the most amazing vape that they've ever had. But I thought after
the
using...
closest one is the Steam Crave.
Yeah, the aroma.
Crave.
With
It's
that, Steam Crave, yeah.
If you're talking about the V, what was it? The V3, the aromerizer, or V2. If you use their actual mesh deck, it's very, very simple to build on, and you can go all the way up. I think before I got a dry hit, if you watch the review, I think you're about 160 watts.
Yep.
Yeah.
You push those tanks and RDs, the original Steam Crave variants, they were really well made.
Yeah.
Really
well made.
Last question from the wonderful Toma. Question for all casters. What is the best thing you can say to a smoker that sees you vape and he says it's worse than cigarettes? I'm having some hard times with all of those idiots. I think the easiest one to say is my e-cigarette contains 4 ingredients. Can you name... I can name all 4, and I can also name reasons what they're used in. Can you name the 2,000 carcinogens and toxins that you're putting into your system? That always stops them.
Do you know also the greatest thing that you always get with these people who say these sort of things? They come out with things that they've heard in the paper.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, but you get that popcorn lump.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, what about that isotope? What's that thingy?
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde, fucking vitamin E and all that. Well, no. You've been reading papers, sweet cheeks.
Yeah.
Get the truth. What have you got? What have you got in your glass vodka? Oh, so what? It's got fucking antifreeze in that.
Technically,
No, it
does.
ain't. Well, how do you know? It's fucking vodka. It could come from anywhere. Exactly the same as vaping it. If you've just bought it behind bar and it says Smirnoff on it, you're fine. But you go and buy your vape from somewhere where you don't know where it is, good luck. Buy it from a reputable person. You're gonna know what's in it.
Yep.
Toma, it's not water vapor. It's vapor. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's the people they just piss me off. They really do.
We're pretty fortunate. We don't have to deal with that sort of stuff anymore. I don't know.
I still fucking get it all the time. And do you know what as well? I've started to have now. You know what? Obviously, with all the stuff that's coming out in the media, people tagging me.
Yeah.
You know, people, like from work and stuff like that, tagging me into this and tagging me into that. Look, there's somebody's arm fell off because of vaping, and it's like, oh, that's nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I got emailed about the one where you get bleeding gums.
It's like anything goes wrong, let's just blame it on fucking vaping.
Yeah.
I know we're coming down to the end of the show. One thing I wanted to touch on, obviously, with the stopping now, or the aiming to look at, stopping anybody from roughly around about 14-year-old will never ever be able to buy cigarettes.
Yeah. It's a rolling increase in the age of buying cigarettes.
I think that's absolutely fantastic, but also I feel they should do this for vaping. So
I think we touched on this.
Sorry.
We touched on this not long ago. We're going to see some very prolific laws coming in on the lead up to Christmas, because obviously the Tories want to get everything sorted just in case they're not in. I think a lot of the people that come in the shop are swung 60-40. 60% think that the Tories are going to go out, 40% think that they're going to stay in. So that sort of bridges where people are at the minute. But they're going to try and get these really, really prolific sort of vaping bans, smoking bans, whatever they want to call them, whether they want to call them stagger bans or anything else. It's same as the disposable ban, the single-use ban, will be pushed forward. The smoking, I think the smoking's incredible.
The point that I was actually trying to make was the fact of is I feel that what they should do is do exactly the same with cigarettes, and I think they should not do 14. I think they should be bringing up anybody who's now 17 who's not allowed to have them. It starts now, and it's the same for vaping. Do the same. But what I'd also look at is what else is nicotine used for in the entire world? Now, this is a double-ended question.
Pesticides. So, that's what it was designed for.
Right. So if nicotine's done for that, why should it then be readily available to be put into anything? So then they should maybe say, well, look, the only way you're going to be able to get nicotine, you don't think we're all going to be dead by this happens. People who smoke and all that. It's not us. It's not
right, existential dread.
So well, no, we will be. We'll be well gone. But what I'm trying to say is,
see you later, Night Clover.
The nicotine, if they stopped it completely and they said, all right, it's only just going to go into pesticides, would that then create other things where they can say there's no sugar, there's no butter, there's no nothing else?
Yeah.
I'm feeling very George Orwell here.
He's got a point,
the problem that we've got, and this is if you look at it from every single side of the argument, the moment they start banning it, it becomes black market for people like us who still need nicotine. And yeah, we will be dead by the time it comes round, but there's always going to be a black market. Now, the problem that we get when we go to the black market is we go back to the world of people blowing themselves up. We get back to we get back to the bathtub. We get back to the prohibition of vaping.
Right, you ban anything, and look what happens. It doesn't work.
Again, I was playing devil's.
No, yeah, exactly. Played devil's advocate with it.
This is what I'm saying to you. You can see the run of it. They're going to ban cigarettes, which I totally agree.
The cigarettes need to be banned, but I think they really need, what they need to do is kind of ban the cigarettes, but put the alternative in a real place, as in like regulation, as in.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, we've already got that.
But if there isn't any,
we've already got it. But people like trading standards are not funded enough to actually control it. So if they're not funded enough now to control it, and we've got, you are not allowed to buy a vape or a cigarette unless you're 18. So why are we having a problem with all these kids smoking, vaping disposables?
The thing about banning cigarettes, it's not actually banning cigarettes. What we're saying is a 14-year-old child now will never be able to buy them because what they're going to do is slowly put the age up.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're banning cigarettes. What they're doing is they're stopping children smoking cigarettes. And the thing about that is they're stopping them from getting cancer and all the horrible shit that comes with smoking.
I think what will happen with that is the regulation side. I think there's going to be a little bit more funding go towards it. I think there'll be more trading standards people put on the ground, especially if the Tories, without getting it political, but if the Tories get all of these bans.
They've already put an extra task force gone.
Yeah, 3 million.
The task force is only
the fucking potholes in the road out.
Yeah, but I think the ideology behind it is if we start to put this staggered ban, so. It's not banning them straight away. It's putting an extra year on for every year that goes by. So by the time the 14-year-olds now get to 65, no one will be old enough to be able to go out and buy cigarettes. Now, if they have to concentrate on other areas, that means it'll free up a little bit. It's only saying, Aidan will know this with the pubs as well, the trading standards do come around, not as often as they should do, but they do come around to do the Challenge 25.
A lot of that's to do with licensing.
Yeah, but we work under the same Challenge 25 licensing in the shop, and we have visitations once every year to 18 months, but they're just not on the ground often enough to go into the shops to stop it or anything like that because they're already.
My certain point was is if you're stopping the fact of somebody, and you got to think when we talk about this, it's like Louise couldn't quite grasp it. It sounds like we're banning everybody now. We won't even be here. We'll all be deaded. Do you know what I mean?
Deaded.
So,
Deaded. I like that one. We'll be deaded.
Deaded.
We'll be deaded. So at the same point, there's no point of vaping.
Toma, PMI, I think you're trying to say when they're going to be finished. PMI apparently still live to the rule that they're going to stop making traditional tobacco products by 2030.
That's the story they're sticking with. We need to do a giveaway, guys. We're running out of time here.
Smash it out.
So, up for grabs, because we still don't have the Yeehee sponsorship package in, but we still, of course, do have our wonderful sponsors at JTB Coils. This is a couple of coils. Couple of aliens. There we go.
Nice.
Couple of alien coils. We have got the Black Vine, which I'm not vaping because I now get sent concentrate so I don't dip into the warehouse. And we've got, here we go with this Cassie Andorra cream. There we go. Bottle of Cassie Andorra cream.
Casadians.
Casadians. Yes. We've got a odd pinky purple. Oh, Bunny might like this. An odd pinky.
Bunny all over that.
It does get Bunny all over this one. An odd pinky purple Mag Solo kit. And just released from the folks over at Cthulhu, we've got Cthulhu. We've got the Valor mouth to lung RTA, which is going to be replacing the Albrecht 2 as my daily run-of-the-mill mouth to lung. That's how good this tank is, folks. It's a fucking phenomenal little, and it's tiny as well. It's like that fucking high. Tiny little thing. So you've got that. You've got a couple of aliens. If you've got RDs or something, there's like lots of numbers and shit that I don't fucking understand. It's like way over my head.
I love the stuff that Chico writes on the back of his coils. You go,
it's like,
yeah, they're going to work.
It's like, okay, I don't have a clue what that means as long as they vape fine. A couple of bottles of juice from our fine sponsors over at the Rochford Project. The keyword for today, in honour of our guest, and I thought I'd just type this with odd spelling just to piss people off, is SoulOhm. Type it once and once only. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since we've done one of these. So ladies and gentlemen, please, while you're doing that, try and multitask. Make sure that you're putting the thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop the stream a like. It does help us get out there. We are back to normal now, except for Expo, which is coming up very soon.
But you never know, though. Me and Vic could maybe get, obviously, with me and you going there, we never know. We've got premier rooms. We might be able to do a
sleepover.
Oh, never thought of that. Better Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please stick that thumb up. It does help the show. It does help us get out in the algorithm. And as you can tell, we are a show about vaping, and we do talk about vaping and the deep lying thoughts of the vaping industry.
Just carrying on with that, Scott Wood. Can I buy a 100,000 puff from a car boot? Yeah, you can, with no idea where it came from. Imported of vapes, if cracked down on, and if you are caught selling vape outside of a vape shop and made the fines huge. Again, this is it. You can go to a car boot and then you've got some sort of story that's popping up that little Margaret.
Yeah.
Oh, Margaret. There's Margaret again.
little Margaret's bought it. She's hiding it under all these different places, like Mark was saying in his show. And that's the wonderful thing as well, isn't it? 600 puffs in 2 hours.
The big thing that I see
Did
on
that come out of her mouth?
I'll tell you something. One of the funny things is on a day-to-day basis, I do see some of the older generation walking in with an Elux bar that they bought from the corner shop.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time here.
And they
by
got
the way,
DSLEs.
just to cut in, this is worldwide, by the way, people. Worldwide, so if you're outside the UK, enter. Might take a while to get there, but it'll get there.
Worldwide.
Yes.
Bubble bomb.
Wide. Vic's just going for a poo. But the amount of the older generation, which used to stick to the Ego style batteries with the CE4s and the 18 milligram tobacco, walking in going, I've got fairy dust in this. Do you sell anything close to it?
Vaping Ed, I've never been in a porno, so you won't get in mine.
Why not?
Might have been Mark's, but not mine.
Aiden, sing something for us.
That's the other channel.
Yeah,
I need to get my act out for that, son.
that's the only flans.
The only fans. But it is. It's a lot to talk about, and we were talking about this again the other week. It feels a little bit like when we were all discussing the TPD.
Oh God,
what's going to happen? What's not going to happen? It has got that massive feel.
I think we're a bit clear. I think we're a bit clearer than as time's progressing. I think we're a little bit clearer than we were when the TPD.
I think we're in a worse fucking situation because we don't know who's going to come in next.
Well, that's why
it's. All I'm going to say is this: if the Conservatives win the next election, it's been rigged.
But the thing is, again, totally agree with you. But if Labour comes in, you know what they are. It's like the last time trying to grab the votes. It was out there telling you we're going to give everybody fucking free broadband.
Michael W. Yes, I did say only flans.
Only
Thank you
flans.
for picking up on that.
Only flange.
I genuinely because they're starting to rush it a little bit. The owner of our vape shop. He's quite clued up and a little bit more clued up than I am, which is quite nice on the back end of things. And there's a lot of murmurings from distributors who are saying that get hold of disposables while you can.
Yeah, because they already know. They know it's coming.
They know what's coming. And I think we are going to get to a point where I think the unknown bit is where we go next. Where we do custards count? They do. I much prefer an egg custard. I love an egg custard.
I haven't had a flan for fucking years.
We'll leave that.
Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that, please.
So is that right, Vic? You've not had a bit of flange for a number of years.
Flan.
I'll
just shut up.
I don't know, but I've not had a bit of flange for years. Mate, you're not on your own. I'm married.
Yeah.
Fucking blowjob's a new dress.
But I think
I'm laughing now. He's still.
He might be.
He's
Might be watching.
Still.
Oh no, don't keep it together, lad.
I'm trying. Lad. I'm trying. The big thing is it's the.
It is the big flange.
What's he doing? Fucking. What's he clapping for?
I don't know. Do you know what? Fuck it.
You turned into Hercules.
Don't send it that way. I'll cry.
The only thing we're missing now, right, is him with window open.
Oh, I've got no drink.
On. Next door neighbour his lights on when he goes live.
I miss me Fez.
Brilliant.
So next, just as I look forward to next week is going to be the Expo special because it's the week before Expo. And of course, Mark is going to be here as a guest because it's his second week. There will be a mini auction, something like 5 or 6 boxes. Whether I have the ticket thing figured out by then, I don't know. So it might just be 5 live boxes going out and chat, but there will be a Expo special.
We could do the Wheel of Fortune, or we could nick it from Flat Cap because I've got it. We could do a race.
Oh, right, the race thing. We'll figure something out. Keep an eye out on the UK Vape Show and the Vaping with Vic group for more information of what's being auctioned out next week.
Are you going to find out who has won if we have a required amount of thumbs up?
Right, hold on. Let's have a look here. I wasn't paying attention. Right, Nightbot. So, who's won all of this?
Yay!
Let's roll it. And the winner is Ding.
Who's
Bill
Ding?
Richards.
Ding.
Well done, Bill.
Microwave had just finished.
It's gonna be a daft question, but Bill, do you want it?
Yeah, well, it.
It can't be like Mark show. Everybody kept fucking piffing.
I know.
We're never going to get on. We're never going to get on.
You want it?
Come on, Bill. Pick yourself up off the floor.
No, he's all right at the minute. He's been good.
You want it? Nice one, but Bunny can have the smock kit.
Oh, that's cute.
Totally, my love.
That means I need to send out 2 packages instead of 1.
No, you don't.
What?
Buddy's coming to Expo.
Bunny, is Bunny going to the expo?
Yeah, Buddy's going to Expo, so you can just leave it there and give it as a present when you're there.
All right. So Bill's
thank you.
getting his hands on these, which means it's going to fit in an envelope, which saves me postage because I'm a cheap fucker. So
They told you to come in Expo.
awesome. I'll hand it to you over at Expo. So Bill, you've just got your hands on these. He was after the tank. That's what he was after. And Bunny, you're getting this at Expo. Bill, what I need you to do is, and here we go. I haven't seen Stuart in chat, so I need to do this manually. Fuck. Vaping. Shut up. Fucking hate typing. What you need to do, Bill, is did I type that in right? Yeah, I did. You need to email me victor@vapingwithvic.co.uk. Bill, send me your postal address, and I'll have this little lot sent over to you next week, probably Monday or Tuesday. If you want to sneak a wee bottle of Cassia Andorra cream in there, okay, I'll pop in a bottle of Cassia Andorra.
Oh, you will do. Next box away we do, they'll be going, can I have this RDA? Can I have this bottle of liquid? And can I have some coils?
I'll take your flaky back panels of the
Collector's item.
I'll pop in a bottle of Cassia Andorra. There we go. So, yeah. It's a good... See, the tank's surprisingly good, because I'm thoroughly fucking enjoying this thing. Never thought I'd say that about smart coils, but I'm thoroughly fucking enjoying it.
Coil.
Anyway. What?
Mr. Kipling's coils.
How you doing?
Oh,
Puppy.
oh. Should we wrap this up, fellas?
Yes.
We shall pick on our guest host first. Mr. SoulOhm, say your goodbyes.
Bye.
Really?
God, he's fucking original.
Wanted to do that for ages. Guys, thank you so much for having me on. It's been absolutely brilliant. Brought back some very happy memories. Big thank you as well. Aiden, thank you. My bruv.
Aiden, you've not called me that for years.
I know.
You don't need to get all emotional. You're on next week as well, Mark.
I know.
Yeah.
I've won an award. I'm so capricious. I want world peace.
You're gonna find that fucking very hard at the minute, mate.
I know. It's very hard.
Speaking of
Over
Mech,
to whoever. Thank you.
I forgot I fucking had this. It's the Ronin. And these were limited editions as well. See the fucking Mechs I've got that I never fucking use because I'm scared of them. That was
brilliant though. If they had an RDA called
to that, Vic. I'll even pay for postage.
I've got fucking loads of them that I never use. Then there's this.
Oh,
I've had this for fucking years.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Years. I think the guy that did this ended up doing some patina work for a very, very big auto manufacturing company. He just left the vaping scene. Gorgeous bit of kit, this. But that was Mr. Mark SoulOhm. He will be back next week. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. There's links in the chat that's popping up now and again. We will move on to Mr. Adam from... What's that behind you?
It's a three. I'll tell you, it's nice. You know, when I do my recording, there's nothing better than having the microphone like there and just trying to speak as softly as possible.
It gets all bassy.
You have got that voice though, bro.
Do you know what? It's the microphone. I can only blame it on the microphone.
It's almost like Bob Harris.
I spent, for the first time ever, I spent a hell of a lot of money on a microphone just to be able to go, hello and welcome to What's That Behind You.
Because that's an Elgato mic you've got, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they're good mics, them. Good mics.
Do you know what though? The first time he came on the UK Vape show, you know, as a caster, that was just a fucking nightmare. He shouted down it. Can you remember?
Yeah, well, this has got auto clip and everything. So, like, even if
what?
It's got auto clip. So you know, if you go too loud.
See, I'm old
if you
school.
Go too loud,
I'm still using this old fella. I've had this thing for fucking years now.
I'm still using the same mic my brother bought me for my birthday 7 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started
Yeti Blue.
Still there, brother.
I'm
still on Yeti Blue.
I absolutely, for the first time ever, I upgraded everything except for ever buying myself a decent microphone. And like I said before, when you're reliant on just your voice, it needs to sound as good as possible. That's why I got that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. I trust me, I absolutely adore doing this show, and I'm going to say this. I miss Grizz. I didn't have a chance to say it in our chat earlier on, but I miss Grizz. Much love to you. But I'll tell you something. Having you on the show tonight, Mark, I absolutely adore you like another brother, and you know that. And it's amazing, and I love it. I absolutely love casting with everyone on here, and it's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, head over to What's That Behind You. There are some Halloween specials coming up very, very shortly, including the history of Halloween and multiple other things. But for me, thank you very much. Get yourself over to the UK Vape Show group and we'll put the bag up a little bit earlier for next week, but make sure you get your questions in. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Good night.
That was Adam on to Mr. Aiden from Little Bro Vape Reviews channel.
What a show. It's been really nice sort of reminiscing about the old times. Big love to Adam and also Vic and also my wonderful brother. I love you loads, my friend. Also, we do miss you, Grizz. We miss you loads, brother. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, just posting this link back in for the Just Giving page for Louise. I'm sure if you've not been around, you'll know what's been happening. Please, even if you still got a couple of quid or whatever else, still just share that link out there. Big love to you all. Thank you so much to the Spanish for looking after us. Thank you so much for you all in chat. You make the show. Big love to you all, and we'll catch you next week for the Expo special. It's getting close, people, and I can't wait. I'm moist.
It's going to be fun. A big thanks to the spanners in chat. A massive thanks to our special 2-week guest host, Mr. Mark SoulOhm. Hi, Mark. Big thanks, of course, to Adam and to Aiden. Next week, we will have a mini auction. Don't quite know if we're going to do the ticket thing yet. It might just be live in chat instead, but there will be a mini auction. Keep an eye out on the Vaping with Vic group and, of course, the UK Vape Show group. Join the UK Vape Show group if you want to add in for casters' questions. And yeah, that's it from us, folks. We'll see you all next week. Bye!
It's flaps.